Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. This is a midweek grocery reset and also some meal prep because I have an anti-inflammatory meal plan that I want to share. And in this video, what I'm doing right now, it's early morning, so the sun hasn't quite come up yet. And I've just finished my workout. Today is weight day, and I'm going to give you a little fridge tour and as well as showing you how I'm going to be putting together a breakfast and my lunch for the day. And if you don't know me, my name's Tiffany. I am a health educator, the founder of Anderson Therapeutics, and I am managing multiple chronic conditions. I'm also an older adult, and I have a very busy day because I juggle all sorts of different jobs, and I am in the field a lot, so oftentimes I am eating lunch in my car. I have an electric lunchbox, if you've seen any of my videos before. I just returned from a 6-night vacation, and I typically will batch cook and meal prep on the weekend, though since I had vacation I did a lot of prep the week before and then a little bit when I came home just to give me enough for the work week. And I'm going to show you what I have put together and then what I'm prepping for tonight as well as today, in hopes that wherever you are in life, whether you are still caregiving, if you have children at home, or if you are aging solo like myself, just to give you some more ideas, especially if you are wanting to improve your health and better manage any chronic conditions that you are living with. That's something that I see as a public health worker a lot, is that even a lot of younger children now have some type of health condition that they are dealing with and their parents are struggling to manage. And it gets challenging, especially as we get older, and those things kind of compound and build on one another. And food is medicine in my world, and actually saved my life at one point and improved it in ways that I hadn't believed possible. So that's what this video is about. So come with me, check out my fridge and some of the things that I've batch cooked for the week and what I'm putting together, and I hope these give you some really great ideas for your own meal plan. Okay, welcome to my fridge. This will be brief because I don't want to waste electricity. Last night I made a lazy lady salsa, and that is simply, taking some canned items along with some fresh produce and throwing it in the food processor. And I made this enormous bowl of a little bit of spice. I put just about this much of a jalapeno, and then it was the rotel and then the canned tomatoes that have the chili seasoning along with some fresh vegetables. So I have this put together because I'm going to be using some of my taco spiced lentils. If you haven't seen any of these videos where I share recipes, then please check out my Nourish playlist. I will put a card for that. And with these taco spice lentils, these are so economical. So whether you are plant-based or not, I follow the starch solution. So that is a whole food, plant-based, oil-free meal plan. This is something that you can add to any meal plan, or simply add more lentils to your menu plan if you are stretching your budget. So if you are eating animal products, that add lentils. And if you need to stretch a pound of whatever ground meat that you might be using, add more lentils to that, and that will help to stretch the budget, plus add a lot of fiber. I added collard greens to this as well, and adding greens to my meals is something that I learned as a child. It's something that I did when my son was still home, in order to make sure that we always had plenty of antioxidants, and just having more greens in our diet is essential for good health. I also made some of my garlicky, cilantro, lemony hummus, and I will be having that today with some fresh vegetables. And then I also had some leftover steamed rice, and this was courtesy of my son. It was my birthday last week, and so I put on a party for me, and I got a vegan curry feast, and they sent me home with some leftovers. So I'm having a rice bowl today. So I will take out the rice, the salsa, and the lentils. And to that, then I had also already prepped a lot of my produce. In order to make sure that when you buy produce, there's ways that you can store each and every vegetable, fruit that you buy. And there's plenty of resources online. I've shared a few different ways that I actually store vegetables. And since I go through green onions pretty quickly, I just clean and then just store them. So I'll just be adding those as a little decoration on top of the rice bowl, and that's going to be going into my electric lunchbox. So that way I will have a hot meal in the middle of the day. I also pre-prepped, I always have potatoes on hand because with the starch solution, starch is the center of the plate. So I always have extra baked potatoes sitting around. And then for my breakfast this morning, I already prepped a big batch of steel cut oatmeal. And when I cooked the oatmeal, I actually added in some baby spinach. So that way, again, I have a green. I eat my vegetables first. That was something that my great-grandmothers, my grandmothers, that was always the rule. You eat vegetables first. To the oatmeal, then I will be adding, I have a handful of slice of strawberries that I will slice up and put those on there. And I think since they're so, look at the size of these. Since it's spring, the berries are in season right there. They're beautiful, but they're gigantic. So I'll probably only use a couple of these because I still have some of my oil-free granola that I made before my trip because I took that on vacation. On my Nourish playlist, there's a lovely parfait that I made, and it was so delicious, and it was just throwing together what I had and layering in the greens. Yes, I put greens in my yogurt parfait. And all of this is because some of my chronic conditions cause inflammation in my body, and so I'm always monitoring my weight. I have artificial hips, and so keeping my weight down is essential. And this is actually maximizing my nutrition because since I am using food as medicine, that means that I can use less medication and just use lifestyle medicine to better manage my chronic conditions. Since I will be eating my vegetables first this morning, I've got a little Mexican squash, and so I'm going to cut this up. A little bit of onion, and so I'm going to steam that and serve it with a balsamic glaze so that I will have that before my oatmeal. So I have vegetables in my belly first. When you layer with vegetables and fiber in your belly, especially the first meal of the day, to ensure that you're getting a lot of nutrients, a lot of fiber, that really maximizes your body's ability to make the best use of the food that you're putting inside. And it also gives you a really slow burn. So it's a nice, long, steady burn of energy. For my lunch, since I'm also taking some of that hummus and I will be having a vegetable snack beforehand, I have a little Persian cucumber and I've got some little carrots. So I'll be putting together a snack bowl, and I've got some fruit that I will be having for my lunch dessert. So let me put these all together and I will show you how it all comes together. Okay, so I've got everything ready, so I'm going to prep my lunch first. So that way I can just get it all set aside with an ice pack in my insulated lunch sack, and then I can prep my breakfast. Now with these electric lunch boxes, if you're not familiar with these, when they plug in, and there's a couple of adapters, so there's one that you can actually, use for your car, and then there's one that actually has the plug that's the socket for the wall. So there's a couple of ways you can use this, and it actually steams. So there's a lid, there's a little pop off in the center, so you actually have a vent so it can actually release the steam. So you have to have something on the bottom in order for there to be liquid. So to layer this, then I'm just going to start out and put some a little bit of leftover frozen vegetables. I didn't have very much of this frozen broccoli left. I usually use this in my veggie loaded hash browns, so that's all done. And then I'm going to add another level of another great way to add more greens to your diet, these chopped collard greens. So I'll just put a small layer of these on the bottom. And the water in those vegetables, even if I need to add a little bit of extra liquid, this will be ample. On top of that, I'll put the leftover steamed basmati rice. And let me know in the comments if this is something that interests you, if this is something that you are already doing, if you have a way that you meal prep and plan in order to make sure that you're getting all of your nutrients. Plus, you know, you're saving money. I do this to stretch my budget, and that way I'm dining well. I'm going to put some of the lentils on here. And I just honestly prefer eating this way. I like being in control of my meals, and I know exactly what goes in here, so I feel confident that I'm getting the most for my money and the most for my taste buds. Just put a couple of scoops of the lentils on there. And on top of that, then I will add a good sized scoop of the salsa. And another way to season this, you may have seen how I bake my own chips. I always have a little spray bottle of lime juice, so I'll just spritz. And I could have put that across the rice as well. That just gives it a little extra flavor. I also had a radish and a little bit of cilantro, so that will just go across the top. And this is how I actually store radishes. I actually clean those ahead of time and put a little paper towel along the bottom of just a sealed container, and this will keep radishes good in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. So these never spoil. So I actually just wash them and then snap it off from the green leaves and then keep the end and the tip on, and I don't remove that until I'm ready to eat them. Little tip there. And voila, there is my big portion of my lunch. So that's all finished up. And now I will move on to prepping the little veggie bag. I already have my banana I will have for my dessert for lunch. And then if you see over here, this ginormous baked sweet potato, this is actually going to be my dessert for dinner. I baked this morning because it took over an hour since it was so large. And I will be making a vegan chocolate pudding with orange zest, and it's sweetened with dates. It's a delicious dessert. Let me finish putting this together and I will show you the rest of my lunch and breakfast. Okay, so if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. All of this food here, you know, this is low in calorie and it's nutrient dense. That's another great reason why I am doing this, and it's really low in sodium. So if any of you out there are dealing with high blood pressure or cholesterol, these are other ways to help minimize, if not eliminate any of those problems, because that was my experience. I had high blood pressure. I was on cholesterol medication. By changing my meal plan, I got off all of those medications. And please partner with your physician. I've got my little vegetable container here with Persian cucumber and the little carrots. And then I portioned out some of that lemony garlic cilantro hummus. So that will be the appetizer that I will be having before my lentil rice bowl with salsa and all of those fresh vegetables. And then here is breakfast. I steamed that small Mexican squash with a little bit of onion, and then I've topped it with a balsamic glaze. You can make this on your own too if you can't find these. It's really inexpensive to make. A little bit of the onion, and that's all ready to go. I think I said that already. The onion, worth mentioning twice. And then here is breakfast. I heated up that steel cut oatmeal that has the baby spinach in here, and anyone, please give this a try. And if you have struggled getting anyone in your family to eat their greens, you can hide greens in nearly everything, even sweet dishes. And then only a couple of those strawberries. What I'm going to be topping this with, because there are greens in there and I love the hint of citrus, this has important enzymes that's really good for digestion. I put a little bit of lemon juice on top of this, and then I make my own oat milk. I keep a long utensil in here because, as we know, these need to be shaken up or given a good stir, because all of the oat particles tend to settle at the bottom. That will just bring back the creaminess of the plant milk. And I will sweeten it with just a little bit of stevia. Stevia is my preferred sweetener. That works best for me. Thank you again so much for watching. Vegetables first. If you're not doing this already, give it a try. It can really maximize how your body is actually able to digest and absorb nutrients. And then add that fiber in, all of the grains. And like I said, however you are eating, whatever you are eating in your meal plan, I'm a wellness coach, and I don't know many people who eat the way I do, though I always encourage people to add more produce and certainly more fiber to your plate, because that's simply how our colon works best. We want to digest properly so we're getting the nutrients and actually absorbing our medication properly. For those of us who are managing chronic conditions, it's so important for your health. Check back, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate your time, and dine well to age well. Thanks for watching.